if you're not speaking, you better have an opinion on what's happening because definitely a camera is swinging to you. I think revealed itself a little later. The Shakespearean elements, in the setup really are quite King Lear. It's an aging patriarch and monarch who will get his throne. So those setups, very Shakespearean, but not in the pilot did I capture that. There's a heightened kind of quality to the language as well, even though we're talking such gutter trash a lot of the time. Like there's so much swearing, there's so many insults and horrible things said. It is kind of Shakespearean as well. Like the words that they would have been using back then and the creative ways of insulting people. There's a similarity, I think, there.
My family have disappeared. I need to know where everyone is and what everyone's thinking.
There he is, the little man who started this big war.
Right now, I'm the real you.
Sure. And I'm the real you. You sound deranged.
I definitely watched the show. It comes out so long after we finish as well in some ways. So like I feel distant from it in a lot of ways. And also like you don't get to be on set when Matthew and Nick are doing their bit or Jay and Karen, and those are the fun bits. Like I want to see all the work that everybody else did. No, I feel so fortunate to be able to play with all these amazing people because I get creatively challenged as well as the support to reach those challenges. And Jay described it just recently as kind of like being on a rodeo, or like being in a rodeo. You just gotta like stay on the horse because it's going everywhere. And I feel like that's quite an accurate description because the writing. It goes at a clip, and the cameras is often 2 or 3 at least cameras on set trying to capture us throughout the scene. And so if you're not speaking, you better have an opinion on what's happening because definitely a camera is swinging to you. Little rehearsal, it depends. Sometimes the scene does require rehearsal, and there may be more difficult technical aspects, and the camera people and sound, they all need to know where the actors are going to go or where the camera needs to be. But then the times that we don't rehearse, or we just do like a brief director's rehearsal and kind of plot out the vague generalization of where we're going to be, I don't know, it allows for a lot of spontaneity, and there is improv in the show. Obviously we stick to the script a lot of the time because it is quite an extraordinary script. We you can't really improve on those, but what it does allow is like there's a freedom of, I guess, fluidity or flexibility where you're allowed to move around the space as if it's real, because there's not a static kind of camera work going on. It is going to move with you, so we can improvise our movements, I guess. And also in an excellent kind of way, the people who are operating, they become part of the scene. They're part of the furniture. They're another actor. They're another character. They're sort of there, and you can feel them in the dance, and it's really special. So yeah, it becomes like theatre because of that. Something that really interests me, I guess, about acting, and you get this a lot in theatre and in film, sure, but we have different masks, different faces. We have like private and public faces, and there's a really good benefit, I guess, of shooting in the way that we do, which is very fluid. Camera can pick you up at any point. That that a camera could probably see your private face that you wouldn't be showing to anybody, and then when you turn around, your public face that you would be. So there's an ability to switch between the two. I think all these characters are very good about having a mask up and having something curated for the person opposite in order to get what they want, and that doesn't always succeed, and that's where like the interesting bits happen, I guess, where they fail and they can't help just being themselves, flawed and in all their glory. But it's a lot of fun to play.
I need 5.
Down? Jesus. Yeah, that's his sent you a picture of his by mistake.
Well, it's pretty obvious.
I I loved during the scene with Jay, when that was in episode 8, the scene where she confronts him about the dick pic. It's so bad. It's so bad. One of my favorite scenes to shoot though was when Shiv talks to Logan about, just post dick pic revelation. She's trying to sort of say, yep, it's definitely been a problem. She's trying to use it as a maneuver to angle him. When we were shooting that, Kieran was behind the split, behind the video village, listening, watching as we were shooting it with Brian and I. And then I would leave and call him in, and he would take off his headphones, pass me the headphones in the corridor. I would put the headphones on, run to video village, and watch his part of the scene, which was really fun. Like, it felt like such a sort of playful little kid thing to do, where for his point of view he was like, oh my god, I love this show, I get to be on it, hang on, I can't wait to go and play. Takes the headphones off, passes them for me, and then I put the headphones on and go, oh, this is a cool TV show, I get to watch this now, and not really think about the fact that I was in it a moment ago.
Truth is, I probably should never have had children. You've made the right decision. Some people just aren't made to be mothers. I should have had dogs.
No, you could have had dogs.
No, not with your father. He never saw anything he loved that he didn't want to kick it just to see if it would still come back.
Like, she's trying to build a kinship or something with her daughter. Like, you and I are the same, daughter. I wasn't cut out for being your mother either. Which is like, you don't say that to your kid. Even though, I mean, you do, and it is a nice thing that she's saying in a way. Like, I know I fucked up. I know that I made a mistake. I know that I didn't do right by you, but also you're just as bad as me. Is not the end of the sentence that Shiv wants to hear that. But then framing, like, she was 12, but framing it as like, you shouldn't have children because you're probably going to be as bad as I am. It's like, I mean, I do love how Shiv reacts to that, which is just competitive. It's like, you know what? I will prove to you. I can and will be a better mother. What aspects of herself and qualities that she thinks are maternal, I don't know, in challenge to her own mother's maternal qualities, but she's got a long way to go.
Even though I don't love you.
Uh-huh.
But you want me anyway.
That's one of the questions I get asked a lot, whether Shiv loves Tom or what's going on there. And I think she does, but it's the thing that she can't possibly relinquish into. It's like that is the barrier to, and the thing that probably Tom finds fascinating and interesting and maybe loves her for as well, in that she really struggles to be vulnerable, but it is there. It's the same in Logan. For Logan, for Brian, he always says, oh, he loves his children. Does he? Like, and he truly believes that. And I think Shiv is similar in having grown up in a household that it is questionable whether he does love his children. That shouldn't be a question in a household, in a family at all. I think she has grown up finding expressions of love difficult to deal with, and found ways to get around them, and ways to compartmentalize, and ways to not have to be vulnerable and avoid all those. I think the worst thing, like she said, to him really is that in the scene after that night where he's like, we had some spicy pillow talk, and she says, after all of that, she's like, oh, you can't blame me for things that were said in the bedroom, after saying that we can talk freely, and then goes on to say, I may not love you, but I do love you. It's like, well, which is it? But I think, which for me, I think was one of the hardest lines to play, because it is like, what, Jesse, Mark, which one is it? Is it she does or doesn't? And I think it's both. I think she has such an inability to deal with what vulnerability means, to be in love and to be in a sort of a position or a space of weakness, inverted commas, or vulnerability and rawness, and then can't give him up either, you know? Like, he does need him, he does love him. There was more fear actually in the scene where she's like, we should have a baby, because it's so front foot driven by Shiv in this kind of wildness and unrestrained competitiveness, really, with her, like, which you can't let on that it is going to be, that it is competitiveness with her mum, because it has to live in the space of, no, I want to have a kid because we spoke about that, and I want to be spicy in the bedroom now because that sort of relates to that. But I think the scene that one that I had the most dread about, but then also illuminated their relationship to me most, was actually in season 2 when they're on the beach, and he says that really simple line of maybe the pain I feel when I'm with you will be more than the pain I would feel without you. And that, I think, is like the confrontation of knowing that he could leave is too much. I think that's when I realized that, oh, actually Shiv needs him and loves him, really, like, in her way. It's not the classic rom-com way, but in her way she does. It's quite funny. Like, it's both Matthew and I really struggle with how cruel they are to each other and the things that they say to each other. We struggle not to laugh half the time because who would say that? I kind of find it funny in a way, because it's like it exists in its own universe in a way. Like, I don't engage with it, and if I do sort of accidentally come across it, it doesn't feel. It's like, yeah, I get Shiv's a polarizing character, absolutely. I can defend her all I want, but like, I wouldn't be friends with her. So that's like, I don't feel protective or defensive in any kind of way, because I go, well, yeah, that's the point. Like, she's complex and she's unlikable, and she's also got these amazing qualities of being able to, her entitlement somehow has given her this strange confidence and belief that she's allowed to be in any room she's in, and the sort of whip smart kind of attitude is really fun to play. But getting around like the ownership of the character from external influences, I guess, it's just kind of interesting. I've never had that before. It would be similar to like, in a Marvel universe or something. In film, you get repetitions of films with a character. You know how these characters relate, and we get to see them again and again. Same thing happened with like Game of Thrones. So I've never been in episodic TV that has allowed me to play a character that public people, like, the public have more of a connection to than I do sometimes. Because once I leave set at the end of episode whatever, and we've wrapped the season, then she's yours. She's not mine anymore. I don't take her with me. So create something and then give it away. So I can't be annoyed at their opinions or anything. I just genuinely do find it interesting and funny. Like, I don't. Oh, I mean, I think the one that first comes to mind of scene stealing performances was Alan in the I am the eldest son bit in when we were in Italy, because this great well of anger came out, and it was still so perfectly pitched that it was funny and yet empathetic and tragic at the same time. It just beautiful. Alan is an extraordinary actor to work with, and really, yeah, he really stole the show in that scene. Oh, Joe Tierney, he's great. He's our cast PA, and he every day turns up with a smile and a just like, how you going? What can I get you? Always present, always like, putting in 110%. I mean, to be honest, our entire crew are just extraordinary. I love them all. Like Danny and Midge and everybody, really sort of is on the top of their game. They're bringing their A game because they love the show, and also because they love everybody who's working on it. It's a very satisfying work environment for me to be in. I love it so much. Oh, what do I want? Well, kind of actually, you know what? I'd want to be a fly on the wall in Euphoria, I think. Not like, just the way that they shoot, like the colors and the directing and just everything. Everything. I just want to be a fly on the wall and see how the jigsaw gets put together. But it's, I guess, surprising for myself because I obviously know Succession. I was there when we were shooting it, but weirdly because I didn't know how they were going to edit the end of episode 9, and when we cut to black on Shiv, even though I know what she's thinking, I should be the most sort of intimately knowledgeable about this moment. The way that he edited it, and when they cut to black, and then the music, that I really genuinely gasped of like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, what an idiot! I don't know. Oh, I wish if only I had some sort of contact that I could ask. But like, in terms of a gasp moment, I was genuinely surprised that I had a gasp moment, because I shouldn't have had that when I knew what was going to happen. Anyway, but it's, I guess, testament to the creators on the show that, can still create that tension. What can I say about it? Well, there will be some fun locations. Yeah. The first, I think that's kind of fine to say. The first time in which Shiv and Tom encounter each other in season 4 was an amazingly written scene and amazing to shoot, because Matthew's a dream to work with, and it was really like, wow, no time has elapsed. Here we are doing the same thing that we did season 3, as in we're all sort of back here working together, the crew cast for season 4. What a job. I'm so excited. Let's go. It was the first scene that I shot for the season, and yeah.